Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a gentle young girl named Ella. Her world was happy until her good mother fell ill. On her deathbed, Ella's mother made her promise to always be kind and brave. Her father, remarrying soon after, brought home a new wife and her 2 daughters, Anastasia and Drizella. Ella's stepmother was a cold, vain woman, and her stepsisters were cruel and jealous of Ella's beauty and grace. They mocked her, took her fine clothes, and forced her to sleep in the attic. They made her do all the hardest work, from dawn until dusk. By the end of each day, she was so covered in cinders and ashes from cleaning the fireplace that they cruelly nicknamed her Cinderella. One day, an invitation arrived from the king's palace. The prince was hosting a grand ball, and all eligible maidens in the kingdom were invited. The stepsisters were ecstatic, dreaming of catching the prince's eye. Cinderella, who had helped them prepare, dared to ask, "May I go too?" The stepmother laughed cruelly. "You, covered in ashes, you have no gown, no jewels, it's impossible." And with that, she and the stepsisters left for the ball, leaving Cinderella alone and in tears. As she wept in the garden, a shimmering light appeared. It was her fairy godmother. "Don't cry, my dear," she said softly. "You shall go to the ball." With a wave of her wand, a pumpkin became a magnificent carriage. Mice became prancing horses, and a scruffy dog became a dignified footman. Finally, she touched Cinderella's tattered dress, and it transformed into a stunning gown of silver and gold, with delicate glass slippers on her feet. Now, this is the most important part. The fairy godmother warned, the magic will only last until the stroke of midnight. At the final chime, everything will return to what it was. At the palace, the moment the prince saw Cinderella, he was captivated. No one else existed. He danced with her all evening, and they talked and laughed as if they had known each other forever. Cinderella was happier than she had ever been, twirling in the prince's arms. Then she heard it, the first chime of the clock striking 12. Panic seized her. "I must go," she cried, pulling away from the astonished prince. She ran down the palace steps as fast as she could, losing one of her glass slippers on the way. The clock struck its final chime as she reached the garden. Her gown vanished, leaving her in her rags. But she still had the other glass slipper, a small, sparkling reminder of her magical night. The prince was heartbroken. He searched the kingdom for the mysterious maiden, but no one knew who she was. His only clue was the delicate glass slipper. The Grand Duke proclaimed that the prince would marry the girl whose foot fit the slipper. When the royal messenger arrived at Cinderella's house, the stepsisters tried desperately to squeeze their feet into the tiny shoe, but it was no use. As the messenger turned to leave, a quiet voice said, "May I try?" It was Cinderella. The stepmother tried to stop her, but the Duke insisted. The slipper slipped onto Cinderella's foot as if made for her. Seeing this, the stepmother and stepsisters were filled with shock and shame. Cinderella, however, looked at them not with anger, but with the same kind heart she had always possessed. Pulling the other slipper from her pocket, she was transformed once more into the beautiful maiden from the ball. The prince, who had followed the Duke, stepped forward, his face filled with joy. He had found her. Cinderella forgave her stepsisters and stepmother, and they went to live at the palace. She and the prince were married in a grand ceremony, and they ruled the kingdom with kindness and fairness, living happily ever after. And Cinderella learned that a kind and brave heart will always find its way.